How's it going? Gonna do something a little different today. I'm always looking through my albums and putting things aside and start thinking about making a video on things. And sometimes you come up with a little stack and you don't really know how to categorize it or where you put it. So while doing a brief amount of research on these albums, I was seeing the term art rock thrown out quite a bit. And I've never used that expression in my life, but we're gonna go with that. And most of these bands are not really my thing, so don't take my opinion too seriously. Just albums I gave a shot to. Some I liked, some I didn't. So this is Trouble Will Find Me by The National. And this was a band that formed in 1999 in Brooklyn, New York. And it seems that the members of the band are all from Ohio. And this is a mix of indie rock, alternative, bit of post-punk. And this is their 6th of 9 albums. This one came out in 2013. So I just heard they were quite dark and depressing, and I heard a lot of high praise from even metalheads that whose opinions I respect. So I gave this a shot one day. I guess that would have been 10 years ago now. And I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. And I know a lot of people love these guys, and they're still a big band, but I haven't really listened to anything ever since. And I forgot these guys were on 4AD. Kind of interesting. I never noticed that. And You Will Know Us by The Trail of Dead. This album's called Worlds Apart. It's their 4th album. And it came out in 2005 on Interscope. So these guys formed in Austin, Texas, and they actually broke up this year after releasing their 11th album. And I hear of them being referenced as a rock band with a lot of progressive rock and a lot of post-hardcore thrown in there. And that combined with the band name and the artwork and some places where I heard their name dropped, I was quite interested in them. But this album, again, just wasn't for me. I didn't think it was quite as interesting as it was cracked up to be. Not really heavy at all. Again, just not my thing. This is Spiritualized. This is a band that formed in England in 1990, and this is their 7th of 9 albums. It came out in 2012. And what's this title again? It's got a white front and back cover. Pretty simple CD design. It's called Sweetheart, Sweet Light. So they don't sound anything like And You Will Know Us by The Trail of Dead, but I kind of put them together because they both have cool band names. Both have been praised by people in the metal world. I hear this categorized as space rock. I just don't hear it. This is another band that's not really for me. But let's move on to something I do quite like, and that is Radiohead. I'm not a huge Radiohead fan. There's a couple albums I think are masterpieces, and then every other album, a couple standout tracks. The thing about Radiohead is that I find the vocals annoying. Musically, it doesn't seem very interesting on first glance, but when I let it wash over me, I definitely feel a lot of things. So that might be pretentious to say, but I do kind of get Radiohead now when I think of it that way. Not I'm going to listen to in the car really, but put it on around the house, fall asleep with it on, and it just kind of gets its hooks into you a bit. But let's get back to this album. This is OK Computer, 1997. Probably their biggest and most highly praised album. Remember when it came out like yesterday? I was like 13, but it was a big hit. I guess I always think of Paranoid Android and Karma Police as being the big songs on here. But my personal favorites are probably the opener and closer, Airbag and The Tourist. And my favorite song of them all is probably Let Down. I think that's kind of where I fell in love with the album. When my son was quite young, I remember I took him to the beaches in downtown Toronto. And it was just one of those, sun starts to set on a beautiful summer night and he fell asleep in the wagon. And I just kind of put on my earbuds and listened to this, and I found that song very moving. And their follow-up album from 2000, Kid A, I like it just as much. I don't have these discs right here because I actually have them in a CD wallet where I put all the serious masterpieces. And this is a very different album, almost entirely electronic to my ears, even though this is a drums, guitar, bass kind of band. My favorite song here is probably... Was that the first single, How to Disappear Completely? Might have been, but that's definitely my favorite one. Strange album, all over the place. And again, not to be pretentious and say the same thing that everyone said about these Radiohead albums, but you hear new things every time. Tom York gave an interview once, and I thought it was just kind of a simple but clever analogy. Just like, you walk around a city you know quite well, and a dense city, and you think you know it, but just start paying attention and looking down the alleyways and stuff, and it's infinite, the things you'll discover. So, some albums I like, some I don't. Some art rock albums. And we'll get back to some metal next time. Thanks for watching.